How are we doing out there, everybody? I'm excited for September. I know I don't look it, but I'm excited. I've been up since like 3 and I'm exhausted. I went to the gym. I did my best, trying my best. I'm showing up every day. And I feel as though that's literally all we can do right now. I mean, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sarah and I'm a channel. I am whatever word that you need to say that I'm not from around here, that I came down to inhabit this human body, Sarah, during the time of the awakening and the ascension. I've been around for a very, 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 very long time, and I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. But I'm so excited about this ever-changing world. For a while, I wanted to call this video Walking on Coals, but it's just like, snap. It's just snap. It is what it is. And I feel as though I'm offering validation across time and space, that if you're exhausted, if you feel like you're trying your best, you're showing up every day, but you don't feel like you're doing enough, you don't understand what's going on, having high highs and low lows and all of the different things in between. Food is weird, sleep is weird, friendships are weird, relationships are crumbling. It seems like the outside world is crumbling down. You can smell a liar from across the room. Like, it's wild. You're getting pulled towards things you don't understand. You're getting pushed away from things you don't understand. You feel like you're completing soul contracts in your sleep, and you just don't really understand what's going on anymore. You don't have the answers, but you kind of like see this like light in the end of the tunnel. They're like, no, I'm just making that. I'm just doing that. I'm just here to tell you that you're right on time. Yeah, none of this makes sense. We are consciousness having this human experience, and we're upgrading in these human bodies as the planet is upgrading at the same time. As we're watching, I live in the United States, so we're watching kind of like the fall of an empire happen in real time with infinite technology in our little telephones. And it's a little bit overwhelming. Actually, it's not overwhelming. It's just whelming. If that's a word, we're just whelmed. Because at the end of the day, I feel as though this community is really just taking the time between action and reaction to transmute the reaction to a response. And although we're kind of like, how do I say? We have a growth mindset around here. So we're leaders, we're doing our best, we're entrepreneurs, we're building our own universes with our thoughts, words, actions, and intentions. So although we might judge ourselves sometimes for taking an afternoon off, we're still taking the afternoon off. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're resting, we're listening, and we're following the cycles of the moon. We're doing all the things. That was actually the image that my guides gave me. When I was getting ready to put this video together and I was getting dressed, and I asked my guys, like, what message does my community need to hear? Like, what image do I need to see before we get started? And it was like my line of guides, and it was my divine feminine alien guide, who is a real entity, not a fractal of me. And she channeled through during the full moon in Aquarius. So the full moon in Aquarius channeled message. If you're interested in connecting to your guides, that video is for you. And Yeshua. And the two of them were like trying to get to the front. They're like, let me talk to her. And so I was like, what's up? What's going on? They were like, your community is really connecting to their spirit team and their spirit guides, and they're really doing like amazing stuff, and they're hopping paradigms and just like really doing it. They're doing the work. If that's the only human way that I can describe it, y'all are doing the work. So your team is really excited, and my team is excited. I'm so tired, but like I can't. Like, I'm so proud of you. I just hope you know across time and space that you're doing a great job. This is not easy stuff. This is not even resting. I mean, how triggering is resting? Yeah. But you're like, you know what? My brain's gonna brain. I'm just gonna lay down and watch movies or TV or just knit, just straight knit. Okay, so I've introduced myself. Let's go right into it. So this is the new Uranus for the new planet Uranus on my board. And I introduced it in the All Signs reading for this new moon that's on the 2nd of September. So please go pause the video. It's been hematite. Go grab your coffee, tea, and your journal. Cool. Cool. All right. The first banger of a day. Absolute banger of a day. Where are you? Uranus goes retrograde in the sign of Taurus at 27 degrees, and Pluto is dipping back into Capricorn for the final time in our entire lifetimes. Capricorn placements. This is your time to shine. This is your time to face everything that you've experienced since 2008 and really help others. Because it's very, how do I say, in my, why we can't have a, told you so moment during the awakening, our egos are going to get triggered so hardcore right now. I mean, it's such a mind flip because we came into this human body to experience polarity in this polarity-based reality. We have an ego, we have a positive ego, a negative ego, and we must also recognize that we are consciousness having this human experience, as is everyone else. But if you're here at my table, there's a lot of people that's going to be looking to you for guidance, for understanding. If you've been more vocal about having more of a spiritual practice, talking about woo-woo, having tarot cards, meditating, all these things. If you've been open about that with your community from September 1st till around November 19th, until the rest of 2024, you were probably going to have people in your everyday life that's like, what's going on? What's going on? Or even if you have the religious language, if people, how do I say? If you have, and so if you're new here, sometimes my guides show me images over here, and I've got a few other screens that are going as well as a channel. It's like my guides are talking to me in all these different paradigms. I can thank my Atlantean past life self for the view of that screen with the oracle eye, and I'm completely sober in every capacity. All I have is caffeine, and that's it. So my guides are saying that a lot of this snap is going to be the breaking of people's rigidity. And so this is really fascinating. I've never really thought of it this way, and I'm glad for my guides showing me this. Pluto in the fixed signs. So right now, Pluto has been demolishing the cardinal signs. That's Capricorn, that's Aries, that's Cancer, and that's Libra. And this is the general astrological wheel, starts in Aries and goes all the way around over to Pisces. So definitely view where these points are falling in your chart. If you're new to that language, my astrological starter kit, that's a digital download. You get 2 products within that kit, and that's really can help spearhead you into this language very, very easily. And have the chart for yourself as well as for your company, because that's going to be important. Wherever Pluto is transiting in your company, look out, my guy. It's going to be big stuff. So Pluto is in cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. I've never actually thought of things this way. It's a beautiful, this is a really beautiful lens. We speak in lenses around here because of these huge glasses, where Pluto, our deepest transformation planet, it's our Phoenix planet, runs co-ruler of the 8th house of the Lions and Tigers and Bears portion of our chart, co-ruler with Mars. And so what my guides are showing me, this is so fascinating, is that the rigidity of the fixed signs. So Aquarius is a fixed sign. Fixed signs are Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. Pluto at the beginning of the fixed signs does it's starting to chip away at the rigidity of those signs. But because the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, have been going through this deep transformation since 2008, there's going to be this snap in September, is going to be people leaving a lot of their rigidity behind. They were showing me people that have gone so far to the book, or, you've seen a lot of people possibly in the past 4, 5, 6 years that, were super duper spiritual and then they went super duper religious. Or some people have been super duper liberal and they went super duper conservative. It's been that like polarity, one side, the other, massive swings. And the month of September is going to snap and be like, oh my God, I shouldn't have thrown away all those tarot cards. Man, I know I went too far to one side. I kind of went a little too far to one side. So you having this cafeteria line of, I take a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. Like I, love certain capacity and certain things that are in the book, but I also love Buddhism and I have suck out tattoos on my body. And I also talk to aliens and angels for a living and dead people for a living. So there's a little bit of everything that kind of comes to play. So I love that if we utilize this energy and make sure that during the last bit of Pluto in Capricorn, that we stand up as leaders. Cardinal signs, they go first. Cancer, Aries is the infant baby ram. Cancer is cardinal water energy. They feel the emotions first and they express them first. Like Libra over here is cardinal air energy. Like when they got something to say, they're going to say it. And Capricorn's the goat. So definitely check where Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn is falling in your chart. Do you have any of your big three in those signs? And expect this to be like an exciting mastery program about this from the 1st of September until the 19th of November. And then Pluto's going to go into Aquarius for the next 20 years. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal. That's the first. And those two guys aren't really moving too much. Yeah, Pluto stays at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And Uranus does go into 26 degrees of Taurus by the 1st of October. I never really know how to put the planets up. Just go planet by planet, Sarah. So the second, we have that new moon right over here in Virgo at 11 degrees. And the new moon is when the sun and the moon are in the same place in the sky. I already have my new moon in Virgo introduction to this energy, as well as the all signs reading for this energy. So I'm not going to repeat everything that I said there, but the title of that video is All Systems Go. There's hours and hours and hours of information about this new moon. And again, the Astrological Starter Kit has how to work with the moon. There are 2 products in there, the Chart Reading Foundations and the How to Work with the Moon, and they're bundled together so you get it at a discounted price. This is the most helpful information that you could watch forever about how to follow the moon, how to work with the moon, what do the houses mean, what does the grid mean, all those different things. My favorite sites for you to download, like all this stuff. Oh, Jesus, sorry, I'm tired. And so this, all systems go, just generally, everyday life, practical service, new moons, lenses, planting seeds for manifestation. What do we want? We're leaders around here. We're entrepreneurs. We're creating the most sovereign and free life we could imagine, where we have time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom. We are sovereign. We are in control of our thoughts, words, actions, and intentions. Like truly, your thoughts create the paradigm that you're in. And the words, the spells that you speak, that creates the world around you. So I'm not going to repeat myself there. That's a huge day, a big day, but tons of information for you. So definitely go check those videos out. And that is just a part of my workshop. I'll also have a channeled message for that new moon. I haven't recorded it yet. It might be posted by the time. I have no idea when I'm going to post all of these, but everything's kind of like bunched together. Everything's bunched together. So the 4th and the 6th are interesting days. So I'll highlight on the 4th, we have Mars, our assertive planet, going into the sign of Cancer, the home body. This is the bottom of the chart. This is the roots of the tree of your life, cultural family roots. Safety is key down here. And so we've had Mars in Gemini for a little while. I have a whole video on Mars in Gemini. It's called Asispasi. It's the way we assert ourselves. Mars in the sign of the twins, our communication planet, being a little bit activated, saying we're asserting ourselves with words. In that time period, the chart for the United States of America, they have their natal Mars in Gemini. Stay with me, I'll explain. And so we had a Mars return in the United States. What does that mean, Sarah? So when you have a solar return, it's when the sun is in the same point in the sky when it was when you were born. That's called a birthday. When you have a Mars return, it's about every 2 years. And the best way to describe a Mars return is like the terrible twos, when the kiddos are just like screaming and yelling and acting up and you don't know how to placate them because they just have all this extra energy and they just want to scream and yell. That's what the United States literally just went through, was a Mars return. So if you were born in the United States, again, you have a lens of like, I understand, I feel that energy. And maybe you've seen that in the macro, that maybe there's been some fighting or there's been some polarity when it comes to my communication and when it comes to my like childhood traumas. This is siblings over here. So now Mars in Cancer. Very, very fascinating placement. Mars, like I had said, co-rules the 8th house, but also Aries is run by Mars. So Mars likes to be in a fire sign. It is our divine masculine. It is literally our anger, our assertion, our aggression. So being in the sign of Cancer, which is run by the moon, it's not the happiest of placements, but it's going to be like, you come from my family and I'll take a finger and I'll take a finger. So I think checking our emotional state is going to be very helpful, as well as understanding our sleeper cells and what triggers my, I know better than you. I know better than you. We know, and I wrote about this on Substack recently, so definitely the link for my writing is below. I am really enjoying, I'm writing about like 2 to 3 articles a week, one every Monday, and then a few to kind of understand and unpack a lot of this energy and some tools and tricks as to how to navigate. I just love your support and I'm so grateful for you. It's just, I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, on the 2nd, I'm also launching a digital download, my self-mastery program. It's going to be a big gulp with 6 chapters, as many fundamental metaphysical practices that have really helped change my life. So it's for leaders and entrepreneurs. The link is going to be below. I'm going to have that on sale for the first week. It's going to be a digital download that on the sale price is going to be $444, and then its retail normal price is going to be $800. It's hours of Sarah, spider webs, links to all of these different things, and as much information as I can give you to make this awakening process for you as efficient as possible. That's what I've been working on all month. I'm very, very proud of it. It's just, I love what I'm creating, and I'm birthed in a universe, as are you. So like, I'm right along there with you. I am so tired and I love what I'm doing. It's just like, here's my baby. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. As many tools as I can give you. So that's on the 4th. There's also I'm just going to put these down. So we know when it comes to the North Node and the South Node, as well as Black Moon Lilith, that we have the mean and the true that we can follow. So if you don't follow the one that I follow, that's totally fine. They're just around like 7-8 degrees. So it's kind of like starts at 7 degrees and then ends at 6 degrees. So the North Node over here, it's not by degree, it's like it's tape on the wall so I can, where did the South Node go? Did you fall? Huh. You must have fallen down. Pardon me. Dang, girl. I need you. Hold, please. Let me find her. Usually I say it's palavras. There it is. Yeah, I got her. Thank you for your patience. And the South Node over here, around like 7 degrees of Libra. And the North Node and the South Node have been in Aries and Libra for a while now. I have 2 videos that could be helpful if you're interested in more information on that, which is the North Node in Aries is in the longer range transit playlist, as well as relationships are drastically changing, how to navigate. What you might be seeing is a lot of couples that have been married for a very long time divorcing right now, separating in big ways. In big ways, you're seeing relationships drastically change. Either they're separating and with love and reverence, or they are working so hard on their love of each other, and they're like, I will change, I will better myself, I will develop myself, because everyone on this planet right now has been given opportunities to develop and to speak from I statements. And instead of saying like, you're wrong, to be like, oh, I'm just getting triggered right now, I could develop myself, I could be the most authentic version of myself. So as we become the most authentic versions of ourselves, sometimes the people around us, South Node in Libra, change, leave, fall away, whatever that may be. For the last bit of the nodes in Aries and Libra, and they're going to change signs in January 2025, you are going to see lots of couples separating, leaving, like, amicably. It's all going to be amicable, because these are people that have been together for the better part of like 10 decades. You're going to see that. And you're also going to see people that maybe have been without partnership for a very long time, finding their soul match, their soul mate. And dating is so different right now. It is. I'm asking my guides. You're going to see two very different realities. One is the South Node in Libra. I'll just put down the amalgamation. Lilith also over here, and we're going to have Venus also together. I'm writing a whole article about this, or about the outer planets, and basically about this, and this, and how there's two complete universes that you're going to see possibly in your peripheral vision or hear about. What do you mean by that, Sarah? It's, I feel very blessed that I have created a paradigm where I'm surrounded by people with a growth mindset. They speak from I statements. They're respectful. They're honest. They are, kind, but, not always nice. People speak up for themselves. They have healthy boundaries. And so there's really no one in my reality that is cruel or disrespectful. And everyone really kind of has this language. I was chatting with a coworker at Moonlight at a restaurant, and she was saying, like, I was just expressing gratitude. I was like, this whole team, at the beginning of the day, I call it the morning, it's like 2, 3 in the afternoon, and everybody's just like getting their coffee, they're polishing their cutlery, and just getting themselves ready for a successful Saturday night. And we're talking about this ever-changing world. A lot of people are teachers and they're leaving, it's like the summertime changing of the guard. And so we're just kind of chatting and just talking about this ever-changing world, And again, I'm in the United States, so there's lots to talk about with the soap opera, and everybody has their favorite characters, and people sometimes believe that it's real, but it's so cute. It's so cute. I'll bet terrifying sometimes, but still very, very cute. And so I said to this coworker, I was like, I am so grateful. Like, I was just even walking around and just overhearing peripheral conversations that I wasn't even a part of, where people were just respectful and loving and kind. And I was like, it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. She goes, I know, it's really rare. And I just stopped. I was like, actually, in my life, it's not. I just express gratitude for it, because the more I express gratitude for it, the more it happens. And it's just so beautiful. Like, really, yeah, people that are complainers really aren't attracted to this. Like, when I'm just, I don't think that someone's going to come up to this type of an energy and be like, oh, the weather today. I'm like, no, I have fingers and toes, my guy. Yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day. No, I've been through some real dark nights. Yeah, some real messed up things have happened to me, but like, the world's gonna world. You just can't have a bad day unless you choose to. Yeah, it's intense out there. Yeah, it's intense. So, I've had bad days. I just need to highlight. I know that I can seem so pie in the sky. I did have a customer ask me once. She's a customer and a client, and I've, done some work for her over the years. And she's like, Sarah, you never seem to have a bad day. What's that about? And I go, my dear, when I have a bad day, I will go do not disturb. I will take the next day off. I will swan dive into that feeling, that energy, and I will find the gold in it. I will swaddle myself on the couch. I will watch The Sound of Music until I turn blue in the face. And I will find out what is going on so I can, it out and then release it and be done with it. I'm not going to carry that with me. So know that when it's time to have a bad day, you'll know. When you need to grieve something, you'll know. But complaining just to complain, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So let's get back to it. Venus, so on the 4th, we already talked about Mars going into Cancer. And on the 4th, we're also going to have Venus conjunct Lilith and opposite the North Node. And then on the 6th, the North Node is opposite Lilith. So this is all happening around those times, and they're slow movers. I wouldn't really entertain looking at it by the dot like we do on new moons and full moons. Like, we go to the actual moment. But this, I'd say, the whole first week of September is just like, she hits. So I'd say the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, the whole week. Just say the whole week. Yeah, from the 1st to the 8th, just say that you're going to be feeling this amalgamation. I'll get back to it. I know. So Lilith, I have a whole video on Lilith. I'm covered in paint. South Node, we already talked about. I have a whole video on the North Node, South Node. And Venus, this is our yin planet. This is our divine feminine, how we receive love, how we understand money and abundance and all these different things in the sign of the scales, which is, Libra is run by Venus. Venus is run by Libra. It's so happy there. And so it's fascinating to me that this is all happening. Venus went into Libra on the 29th of August. So it's already in Libra as I record this. And so this is, to me, beauty, like absolute beauty. Beautiful people coming together in beautiful ways, talking about beautiful things. I just noticed that you can't see the tippity top of the chart. Pardon me. There we go. And I love that. It's seeing the light, the beautiful light inside someone. And so now that we understand, and the South Node is what we're releasing. So Lilith is our wild woman and man inside of us, the, sovereignty, if we will, the sensual and sexual side of things. Libra, the scales. Venus, our love planet, our abundance, money, and relationship, in the house of relationships. This is all happening in our house of relationships, so many lenses. And so these 3 planets, planetary bodies, Lilith is a void, and the South Node is like, they're run by the moon, coming together in the sign of Libra. I'm going to get back to what I was saying. You're going to see people that have evolved coming together in healthy relationships and doing things so differently. People are speaking from I statements. There's a lot of people that have gone sober, myself included. And, I don't drink alcohol. I haven't for many years, but I'm without cannabis flower. It's been months now. I'm not even keeping an eye on how long it's been. It's just my reality now. And so you're going to find people that are soul matches coming together. The 2024 to 2027 video, The Changing of the Guides, that's definitely for you. That's in the Longer Range Transit playlist. And so definitely worth your time if you're interested in more information on like the 3 soul matches that we have right now. But this is going to be such slow moving relationships. It's like you're going to know instantly that that's the person for you, but you're going to take a very long time to get to know this person. People aren't hopping into bed. People aren't hopping into anything. Like, you literally meet them and you're like, oh, there we are. Okay. Yes, we're going to get married and have children and stuff like that, but let's date and let's enjoy this courting and get to know each other. Because once you master your Lilith, once you understand your South Node and you understand your Venus, it's very easy to be able to meet someone and say, this is who I am. This is what I like, what I dislike. These are my triggers. These are my trauma responses. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'll entertain. This is what I won't entertain. And then if that person is not a vibrational match for you right away, you're like, that's so okay. I hope you find the person that you're looking for. That's what you're going to see in one reality. The other reality that you might see, which I can speak to this. I have been there, and I speak to this in the Relationships Are Drastically Changing video, my Waking Up Post Woke series. I totally get it. And I can only speak from my story. So I'm not pointing fingers, I'm speaking from my story. I have been in polyamorous relationships. I have been in open relationships before. You're going to see a lot of people, or maybe you have seen a lot of people opening their relationship up, trying on different things. The promiscuity and a lot of the not so divine Lilith aspects of things. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. There's no judgment. I have been there. I have done those things. I can only speak to what I've experienced, and I can only speak to it from the other side, saying, wow, when I was in these relationships, I was actually in the most pain that I've ever been in and really needed to unpack some sexual traumas. Yeah, it's totally beautiful. I've seen so many people have amazing, amazing poly relationships, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I was finding that I was with a verbally abusive, narcissistic person, and that was my primary partner. I was just trying to find ways to get out. So that's not what everyone's going through. Again, there's beauty in that, but I find that people are trying so hard to either make it work or find something that does work for them instead of separating, and that might be an avenue that they take. Just really check in with yourself, really check in and ask yourself what it is that you really do want. Sometimes again, I'm just going to go back to, there's a lot of Gen X is waking up whether they like it or not. These eclipses are activating their Pluto placements, their Chiron is getting activated. It's wild, just astrologically what's going on. So I feel as though a lot of Gen Xers are either in relationships being I've changed so much. I've tried to get you to do this. I've tried to ask you to go to therapy. Either adapt to be the better version, or I have to be with myself. I have to be with myself. That's what you'll see with these, divine masculine and divine feminines. It's you're not really lonely. You're just kind of no, I know they exist on this planet and we'll bump into each other when God decides for us to bump into each other, but I would never diminish myself for a relationship that's not of my highest and greatest timeline. And my why celibacy is going mainstream, that video is also for you. So tons of information on relationships. So this is around the 4th and the 6th where we have all of this exciting energy coming together. So definitely go check out my Substack if you're interested in writing about that, and my Lilith video, all the videos that I just referenced. Okay, let's move on. On the 9th, we have Mercury, our communication planet, going back into the sign of Virgo. We just had a Mercury retrograde that kind of punched a lot of people in the teeth, whether it was punch your ego in the teeth, your relationships, everything was just super duper stalled. And a lot of this is just coming to me now is people are understanding astrology in a much broader way. And so many more people are understanding. It's like that JP Morgan quote, millionaires don't follow astrology, but billionaires do. So many people are giving this energy, they're harnessing this energy and they're utilizing this energy. So this energy is so much more available. So when we follow the moon and we follow the planets, we understand that by going inward during Mercury retrogrades, when it's direct, we can really not feel, how do I say? It's when we go inward, we correct things that might have been more embarrassing in a public way. I'm sorry, the windows are all open. You can hear Pleasant Street waking up, but if it gets too much, I'll close the windows. But right now it's okay. So if Mercury is just constantly direct, we wouldn't have the opportunity to develop. We wouldn't have that in-breath, that self time to look at what it is that we're creating and look at our why statements. Because then when we have these arcs of okay, we went inward, we checked the contract, that's really not right for me, it just gives that kind of the glyph of Sagittarius, that Archer, the moment, a lot more oomph, a lot more punch. When you rest, it's kind of it's like the 101 Dalmatians when they're going home and they're just taking the rest after they've had some milk, and they're they still have such a long way to go. We do as human beings. We have a while to go. So let's buck up. What else do we have? Let's continue along. So the 17th is going to be a wildly exciting day. It's going to start eclipse season. And so that's when the sun and the moon it's a full moon eclipse, are in complete opposition to each other. I am going to do an entire workshop with the all signs reading, the channeled message, as well as the introduction to this energy. So I'm not going to repeat myself, nor do I have that information just yet in my brain space. But what we know about eclipses, and I'll leave you with this, is eclipse season, we hand the reins over to the God of our understanding. It's literally, if our soul mission, if our soul has gone off course in our human reality, eclipses are when they get smashed back into line. And this is really fascinating and auspicious eclipse because the nodes are in Aries and Libra. So the eclipses in the springtime or the autumn time season, depending on your hemisphere, earlier this year, were in Aries and Libra. The next eclipse that we'll talk about in October is going to be in Libra. So it's auspicious that it's in Pisces, you know? And this is everyday life practical service, and this is soul purpose, healing, closures, and coming home. This is also the health axis. So many people are being faced with their addictive patterns and their addictive issues. Whatever addiction has no name, it has no face. There could be content, this could be food, this could be smoking, this could be drinking, this could be anything, spending, this could be anything. Exercise can become an addiction. Positive things can become an addiction. Everything. And so in this ever-changing world, having team, this is coming to me now. So during retrogrades, and we still have a lot of the outer planets retrograde. We have Pluto retrograde, we have Uranus retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Chiron retrograde, and Neptune retrograde. I'll put those up in a moment because I'm not really actually, I'm going to wait because the sun is making aspects to every single outer planet. So I'll talk about that in a minute. Where was I? When all the outer planets are retrograde, this is a time to go inward, but also a time to recognize that you do not have to do this on your own. For myself, I like to utilize retrogrades to really look at, where do I see myself in the future? And do I need someone to get me over that bridge? One thing that I'm really processing right now is, oh my God, this is so personal, is trainer trauma. So I love exercising, but haven't really been very dedicated without a trainer, without a program, without someone to tell me what to do and I'll do it. Honest to goodness. Like, I love exercise. I love basic movement patterns. I love kettlebell stuff. I just love feeling strong and small and lean like a fish. And it's just my absolute favorite. But I have a lot of trainer trauma where maybe, and all my responsibility, all where I don't blame anyone for anything that I've gone through. I've idealized trainers before. I have not looked at red flags by trainers before. I have, looked at, I had a trainer during COVID time that we were trauma bonding and I was like, be my friend forever. And it was like, no, Sarah, you're paying someone for a service. You can't be like, they're my very best friend. They're not. You're paying them to help you transform your body, but it gets very intimate when it comes to your body. It gets very, very, and they have access to a side of you that's very vulnerable. And so I had to process a lot of trainer trauma. I had to also process that my body is not where I want it to be in the most healthy of ways. And so I utilized this past Mercury retrograde to hire a trainer and to hire someone to program for me, someone that I work with regularly, my chiropractor. I sing his praise all the time. And so he'll be programming for me, which is perfect. So it's like he understands my body and has known it for many, many years. All's well. I know that if I go to the gym and do certain patterns over and over and over, and I have the time and tempo and I have all those things, my body will just naturally do what it is that it's supposed to do. But I go there and I'm like, this is like a playground. My gym has every possible thing you could ever imagine. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. My irrational Aries Ram with too many options. I'm like, I need 3 options, please. And it's too much. It's too much for me. I just want to do everything and get the zoomies. And I just it's too much. It's too much. So I'm like, here's the structure. Please I'll give you money and you just do that. So I feel as though a lot of people, especially my Scorpio placements, have been looking, I'm a Scorpio rising. So I literally did this. I follow my own advice. I was like, I see myself in the future look in a different way than I look right now, and I need someone to hold my hands to get there. So yeah, I hired somebody during the Mercury retrograde. It's a beautiful thing to bring in team during those time periods. Okie dokie. The 17th, full moon eclipse. We'll talk more about that later. On the 22nd, we're going to have our equinox when the sun goes into Libra. I don't know where the moon is going to be during that, so I'm taking the moon down. That's God's quarterly. We had when the sun went into Cancer season. We're still under the scope, the lens of that energy. That was the summer solstice or the winter solstice, depending on your time zone. And that video was called Coming Home. Home, my pocket of the world, creativity, play, romance, childlike spirits, everyday life, and practical service. For this God's Quarterly, it's about the relationships and whom we share things with, how we teach, how we learn, legalities, all of those exciting things. So that's happening on the 22nd. That is also that same day, we're going to have Venus go into Scorpio. Yeah, you harness this energy and you can get excited about Venus and Scorpio. I'm excited for this one. I'm excited. It's like these divine masculine and divine feminine partnerships, my guides are just painting really pretty pictures where these are leaders that you see in your life that, you know, run their ship, run their show. They are just, you know, their community looks to them for guidance. And in these relationships, they're just like, yeah, I love them. They're so sweet. Like, it's just, you're going to get a little giddy and sweet. And, you know, after you really harness all of those, all that Lilith and all that South Node and all that Venus, after you really learn to love and accept yourself and, you know, release your traumas, you're allowed to have preferences and you're allowed to be a little freaky deaky and you're allowed to, yeah, you're allowed to have some fun. You're allowed to have some fun. Yeah, especially for my air sign Venuses. I feel like y'all like a good time. Y'all like a good time. See, it's not that bad. It just, when you snap and you just accept yourself and you're like, wow, I can't be rigid anymore. I just kind of have to love the fact that I have preferences. I like certain things. I want to do certain things, but I'm only going to do them healthily. Where's the negative? Where's the negative? Let the outside world crumble. Let them have let them entertain themselves. They'll tucker themselves out. Focus here with me. Please, focus here with me. Alrighty. On the 26th, we're going to have Mercury going into Libra. Libra is the scales. And what we have to understand about the scales is that they never just like into place and like that's it. And that's just literally it. It's a constant ebb and flow. And so Mercury also, like, transiting over this amalgamation over here, it's if you've been doing your inner work and you're speaking from I statements and you're connecting to your guides and you're doing all this stuff, everybody here at this table, you're going to be able to smell a liar from across the room. Mercury in Libra, South Node in Libra, if you're not doing your inner work, you think that you can lie so effortlessly. You think that you can be like, oh, they're the one that's doing this. But it's like, buddy, it's kind of, I haven't seen this parable in a long time. I haven't seen this image in a long time. Where if you're not doing your inner work, it's kind of like you're walking around with a rubber mask on your face. Like a scary rubber mask on your face. And you're like, this is the real me. And everyone's like, do they know that there's a rubber mask on their face? Do they know that we can see that there's a rubber mask on their face? Like, they're not really being authentic. They don't have to hide. Like, it's okay. You can have, like, whomever you are underneath, somebody loves you. Somebody loves you. Yeah. If you're surrounded by people that don't appreciate you or accept you, or if you feel like you have to, like, become small to, like, fit in, then you're just in the wrong room. That's it. There's someone on this planet that loves and accepts you because you're here on this planet for a reason. Everyone's here for a reason. So just, that's cool. That's cool to know. Okay, I'm going to highlight an honorable mention. The 30th is when the sun is conjunct Mercury over here. It's not something that I'm really following. I mean, they're just amplified together, but I'm just going to highlight it because I feel like in months past, I haven't referenced like conjunctions or oppositions before. So I'm just going to reference it, that it's like the sun, our ego, Mercury, our communication planet in Libra, the scales. You're really going to find people that, how do I say, when you have a soul match with someone, you talk for days and days and days and days and days and days. And even whatever you don't really resonate with, you're like, oh no, we don't have to talk about that. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the angels. Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about growth mindset. Let's talk about exercise. Let's talk about this. And so that could be really interesting, beautiful, lovely dialogue happening on the 30th. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is talk about the sun making aspects to most of the outer planets. I'm going to take you away. I'm going to place Chiron down because he's not making any really big moves. He's going from 22 degrees Aries retrograde to 21 degrees Aries retrograde. We're going to put down Saturn. Saturn goes from 16 degrees retrograde to 14 degrees retrograde of Pisces, right over here. Neptune goes from 29 degrees retrograde Pisces to 28. This is from the 1st of September to the 1st of October. It's just the whole month, so they're not making massive moves. Jupiter, slowing down, just going from 19 degrees Gemini to 21 degrees Gemini, right over here. Doop-a-doop-boop-boom. Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, North Node, South Node. Okay. So I'm going to take Mars away. Actually, I'm going to take Chiron away as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back. This is a collection of days that the sun is making an aspect to all these outer planets. So I wanted to talk about this all together as like a clump. So we're going to go back. We're going to start at the 8th. So the 8th, the sun is opposite Saturn, directly across from it. The oppositions that we know most familiarly, the oppositions that we understand the best at this table is a full moon. So think of full moon energy when the sun is opposite the moon. When the sun, ego, is opposite Saturn, our interdisciplinarian over here, this is in the health axis, everyday life, practical service, and soul purpose, healing, closures, coming home. A lot of placements are being faced with their addictive patterns. It's coming up a lot in my all signs reading. It's why I have to give a disclaimer. My air signs, actually not so much Gemini. Gemini can be really helpful right now, but Libra as well as Aquarius are being faced with their addictive tendencies. And there are possibly, how do I say, it's not as hidden as you think that it is, or as a lot of people think that it is. So whatever addiction is coming up, whatever you think is very private. It's like, oh, no, I'm doing great all day long, and then I secretly go home and I do this. There are people in your everyday life that know, and so you can't hide that. Definitely whatever was coming up for you during the full moon in Aquarius, that was around the 19th of August. Dude, for me, it was eating. Like I used to, I was eating dried organic mangoes, like sugar. Like I was coming home after a restaurant, like I was eating, like I was drinking, like I was smoking pot. I was like, oh my God, I can't even think about this. I can't even process the shift. I can't even process it. And it's, I love what I get to do. I really do. But it's around the vibration that, everyone's welcome at a restaurant. So there's very healthy people. And then there's, the addiction. It's all mixed together in this mixing pot. That's the beauty of the general public and the general population, is that we can all come to these places. And I never know whom I'm going to meet. But to be in that energy and that vibration, I was really, really unconsciously doing things. And I gave it to the moon. I was out for like 3-4 days after that. It was on a Monday. I was like down for the count until Friday. And I just was like, this is deep stuff. This is deep, deep, deep stuff. I had an ED for the better part of 10 years. And so it's incredible to feel comfortable and safe in my body to eat and not, do the things. I don't want to trigger anyone. It's just also, I'm being kind to myself. I don't always have the answers. I can just let you know what this energy is, but I'm not perfect and I'm not above it. I'm not above it in any capacity. I'm doing the best that I can with the tools that I have. And I did justify it because I was like, it's fruit sugar and it's organic. It's still candy, girl. It's still candy. It's still candy. And it was way more than a human body needed. So yeah, that's me being vulnerable. So the sun opposite Saturn. That's on the 8th. On the 12th, Sun is going to be squaring Jupiter. Where's the square? Opposite, mutable, mutable, mutable. Yeah, it's going to be here. Squaring Jupiter. Squares are tension points. It's like someone's got to move to the intersection for you to go. It's also where diamonds are made. So Jupiter and Gemini, I have many resources in the longer range transit playlist for you. That could be worth your time, an introduction and then an all signs reading for that. This is Jupiter, expansion, information, sun, ego, daily life. You might have to trim the fat on some people that you follow or the content that you're ingesting. Yes, scrolling. That's another one that I'm trying my best. 19th, we're going to have a trine. This is right after the eclipse, which is beautiful. A trine of the sun, Earth to Uranus. Trines are free-flowing energy. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Sun in an Earth sign, Uranus in an Earth sign, Uranus retrograde. Again, that's like a banger of a day, but don't judge yourself for where you are in your path. Just make a decision and commit to it. And things will change very rapidly during this time period. Full body chill. Things will change so rapidly. These are Earth signs. This is fixed negative Earth, and this is mutable negative Earth over here. So I like that trine. On the 20th, Sun opposite Neptune. '22nd. Sun trine Pluto. 28th, Sun conjunct the South Node, opposite the North Node. That's all she wrote. That's all I got in my notes. So I love that, when we go from Capricorn season to Taurus season and into Gemini season, the sun is conjuncting all of these planets. So that's why it feels so intense all the time, because it's like I'm just getting hit with all this stuff and all these issues and all these troubles and all these, not even troubles, but I gotta develop, it's coming up, it's right in my face, it's right in my life. I realized we were just going for 52 minutes. So normally I take a break around 44. Oh, my hip. So when the sun is opposing or trining or squaring or conjuncting, the sun is like that lighthouse in the sky, saying you have all these areas of life you could focus on. But maybe focus here, maybe focus here, maybe focus here, maybe focus here, maybe focus here. And when the sun is transiting your everyday life, practical service, and your relationships, the important people of your life, this is the descendant sign. This is also an area of your life where, how do we say, the ascendant sign, the rising sign, that's the mask that you wear to the world, but also, what you're here to master. The descendant sign is what you look for in others, but also at the same time, components that you really could integrate into your own life. So say you want a partner that is, wealthy and healthy and does all these things, then become wealthy and become healthy. Be the person that actively does the things every day. Not instantly change everything and, do water fasts and all that stuff, but just do the things every day, have the habits that guide you towards that health and, wealth mindset, that growth mindset. I, am looking for a job where I'm respected and where I'm like treated well and paid well. Then like manifest that on the new moon. Everyday life, practical service. And give your order to the God of your understanding. Give your order to God and act as if. It's interesting. There are very few signs right now that I would really recommend. I mean, like cancer, definitely. You are just not treated in the right way at your current job. That's been coming up for weeks now. And you could definitely make 1 or 2 phone calls and get hired at a better company instantly for my Cancer rising sun and moons. But for a lot of people, I want you to really utilize the energy of this new moon, utilize the energy of the planets, and script it. My Scripting 101 is in the How to Work with the Moon digital download. If you just want that, you don't have to do the astrological starter kit. Just go to the Gumroad and just download the How to Work with the Moon. It's a very easy process, just like writing letters to yourself as if it's already yours. And then, so my visuals, sometimes, if someone's talking to me, I'll give that parable. If someone's talking to me and all of a sudden they're about to say something very important, that's a message from spirit, that's a message from source. I see these huge, bright arrows that are just like pointing to them. And so it's not like I'm not paying attention, but all of a sudden I'm like, you're going to say something. What's going on? What's up? What do I need? Because we upgrade and we, codes are unlocked as we're talking. That says in my description, just looking into my bug eyes or, following my voice. It's the vibration of my voice unlocks codes within you. That's why you can listen to astrology and all these different things. You're like, oh, that makes sense. That's why I tell you I have multiple screens, tabs open in my brain. You're like, no, it makes sense what she's saying. That's what I'm here for. And so I like that. I find it fascinating. So with that being said, if you are keen for a new job or a new environment or a new idea as to how to have a multiple source of income, something that you can offer this world, script it, write it as if you've already done it. It's like the day after, oh my God, I just launched this product. It was so prosperous. I had one of the best, launches that I've ever had. And I'm so grateful. I can't wait to make the next one. And then see what comes up in your life. This is a matrix. This is a video game. We're literally consciousness experiencing this human life in a video game. Yeah. It's not just my language. I think the US government was like, yes, we're in a matrix and your thoughts, words, actions, and intentions create the paradigm you're in. But we'll just slyly release that in some point. But this, do your own research on everything that I say. But you are not the avatar. Yes, you're experiencing avatar, but you are the conscious awareness of what is happening in this universe. You are also the director. So if you start to say things like, oh my goodness, money comes to me effortlessly. Yeah, random, unexpected money finds me so easily. Every dollar I spend comes back to me times 10. That was something that I just heard, activation vibration. I really respected and loved that. I just love little rhymes. It's just so nice. And then believe it. Yeah, I'm on my highest timeline. I'm on my most auspicious, wealthiest timeline. That's also something that I've been giving for people for a little while now. And I think I talked about it in the All Signs reading. I forget when I talked about it. Oh, it was in my self-mastery program. And I put it on a public one. I can't remember exactly which. But so sit quietly in meditation. I'll leave you with this. Sit quietly, not in full meditation, but sit quietly wherever you are after you turn off this video, and just sit quietly and sit with yourself and close your eyes. Just say, I am the wealthiest version of myself I've ever been. I am on the most auspicious, most abundant, beautiful lifetime. I am the, most authentic version of myself that I've ever been. I am in whatever paradigm, whatever beautiful paradigm you're creating. And sit with that and close your eyes and feel into that. Very Dr. Joe Dispenza, just feel that energy. And then open your eyes and see what is highlighted around your room, around the room that you're sitting in that's like, throw that away. That's not auspicious. That's a lack mindset. That's this. Things that don't blend to that spell, the spell that you're speaking, will just literally be like this weird, like, I don't like that color anymore. I just want to throw that out. Ooh, I got that when I was homeless and I don't want it anymore. I'm going to throw that out. Or, ooh, I'm not with that person anymore. I'm just going to throw that out. Like, that's what will happen when removing things and creating space. So when we're trying to, change a specific, everyday life practical service, relationship, whatever that may be, speak it in your mind's eye, script it around the new moon. And this is the last new moon before eclipse season. So we hand the reins over to God and we're like, see you on the other side, Ray. What movie? And so I think that's all. I just gave you a lot. That was an hour. I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be a lot shorter. But what questions do you have for me? How can I best support you? Tons of resources. The links are below. My rates are changing on the 2nd. I don't know when I'm going to post this. I might post it tomorrow on the 31st. So if you book a session before the 2nd, you can still utilize my friends and family rate of $144 a session. My rates are changing to $300 for a session and going to $500 for 2. You can buy 2. And really, my sessions, they range from about an hour to 2 hours sometimes, depending on what you're in and what you're at. If it's over Zoom, we can record that so you can go back and access it. I will have moonlit readings coming up for you, so you can purchase, just like my all signs reading, the grid for every new moon and full moon, chart readings, all different things. So my menu will be coming up. I might just post it so you have it in the community section. But the rates are not active until the 2nd. So even if we book far into September, October, that's totally fine. But you can utilize that friends and family rate if you book before the 2nd. I'm also taking for October and around Halloween time, tarot parties, event prices. That's also in I think it's a 4-hour event. It's $800 for that. Please reach out directly, and I'd love to come pull tarot cards and dress up and whatever the theme is. And I've done weddings, all different events, fairs, just anything that you need, I'm there for. So thank you so much for being here. Please comment below if you have any questions, or timestamp if you have any comments or anything that I can best support you in. And my email address is always listed below. And if you're not really sure where to start, we can just book a free 15-minute consultation to see if I am the right guide for you and to see if it really resonates. So happy September. Snap.